Okay, hi. It's Sunday evening, actually, 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. My name is Jeff Grime. I'm your professor in the course, and I have a tradition of trying to record quick little videos at the end of each week to sort of recap the week that was and to do a little introduction of the week to come. Um, so I thought I'd give it a try this week and to hopefully uh, provide a tool that's useful to you folks. So let's just, I'm looking at some notes here. Let's just review a little bit about week one. And essentially I'd say between me being a little new to the Aggie community and some of the confusion on due dates and the changing of due dates um, that were caused by the shortened week due to the Memorial Day holiday. I think we got through the week okay, but I think, frankly, it was a little shaky. And for that reason, in terms of grading you folks on your first week's participation in the discussion forums, everybody's going to get full credit because the dates were changed on you as to when things were due. But going forward, I think we're going to hit on all cylinders, and I'll be marking your participation and your performance, by the book, so to speak. Okay? So, what's that? Forewarned is forearmed. Okay? But let's see. In week one, we basically did accomplish three things, right? One, in the first discussion forum, we got to know each other a little bit, and I hope that the scorecard that I created mainly for me is helpful to you folks. I got to see that there are some commonalities among some of you in terms of where you went to undergraduate school, the graduate programs you're in now, and the social issues that you're most interested in. So I hope as we go through the course, we'll obviously become more familiar with one another, and we'll get to explore some of those interests and maybe some of that history a little bit more. Secondly, we got to get a quick overview of the nonprofit sector. So you had to have a sense of the macro environment in which nonprofit managers of organizations operate. Both the first chapter in Professor Will Brown's book and the introduction that you read in Elizabeth Boris's book, um, really hopefully give you a sense of the depth and breadth and variety of nonprofit organizations within the sector. Um, I'll just share that I think it's really very difficult to talk about the nonprofit sector because different organizations within the sector are so radically different from one another. Um, let's see here though. But hopefully, you got an understanding of why the sector exists and the role it has in society of providing public goods, things that benefit society, but also, uh, but they have to do that within the legal framework that the government has set up for the sector. Um, and so this, yes, sets up the challenge for nonprofit managers of how do you maximize your organization's uh, production of that public benefit for which you are created, uh, given the constraints, regulatory and otherwise, that you have to operate within as a nonprofit manager. And so that was sort of week one, setting up the big picture. And so week two, we start to begin the in-depth look at how nonprofit managers strategically manage this balance of providing the maximum public good given the sector's operational opportunities and constraints. And so, yes, in chapter two, we'll look at called sort of like framing the strategic decision um, you know, in this book. And in that chapter, we'll think of where we'll learn about a system for making strategic decisions. It's called the Nonprofit Strategic Management Cycle. And we'll also look closely at the mission of nonprofit organizations and how they, what do I say here, set the general direction of the nonprofit or the individual nonprofit organization. Okay, and then in chapter 3, we look at the aspects of the environment in which the nonprofit operates that defines the range of possible means a manager can pursue to maximize mission, and the manager's challenge to optimally position the nonprofit within the external environment. Okay, um, and Professor Brown has done a great job of uh, identifying what those key factors are in the environment that present opportunities and challenges to managers, and how that sort of um, facilitates or constrains the possible strategies that managers can pursue in the pursuit of mission maximization. Okay, I know we'll be talking about a lot of other things, but I'm at 6 minutes, so I'll keep this short and not go into all the other details. But I do want to point you back to the third PowerPoint in week 1, in which Professor Brown talks about the attributes of a great case study assignment or case assignment. He really emphasizes uh, that it's really good to write clearly and concisely, that the length of your written assignment is no indication of its quality. And so I would just like to emphasize that by highlighting, I guess, 3 separate things. That clearly in your professional careers, you have learned that the ability to write precisely and concisely, maybe that's the same word, but clearly and concisely is a real great professional talent to have, because your bosses and the other people who are going to read your written materials don't have a lot of time to read long academic pieces. What they want is, give me the facts, give me the importance of the facts, give me your opinion about the facts and what it is that I should do. That's what your boss wants to know from you. So if you can learn to write clearly and concisely, it's a great professional skill to have. Okay, and then secondly, just 2 quick quotes from my graduate professor a long time ago back at Duke University. He said 2 things about writing. One is that fuzzy writing reflects fuzzy thinking. His point there was that make sure you really know what you want to say before you start writing. Think hard, analytically, about the case and what it is that you want to convey to your boss, or in this particular case, to me as the professor. And then secondly, he always said, there's no such good thing as writing. There's only good rewriting. And I can attest to that. I'm not good at writing first drafts. Ultimately, I get to pretty good writing products, but I'm not one of those people who can just sit down and go, whoosh. Even if I have the thoughts in my brain really thought out and clear, it doesn't translate into written word well on a first draft. So just those 2 things. Make sure that you have clearly thought through what you want to say. And then secondly, make sure you've given yourself the time to express those thoughts clearly and concisely by giving your time to not just write a first draft or a second draft, but actually a third draft. Okay? All right. That's all. Let's see. I think my my TAMU email is actually working now. I know one of you was trying to get a hold of me through email, and it wasn't set up properly. But I've gone through the help desk. It's working now. And the way that student did get a hold of me was by texting me to my cell phone number. So I'm really glad that you had the presence of mind to do that. So I'm going to hold it up one more time so that everybody can see it and you can use it early and often. Again, is it there? There. Is that it? Yeah. 413-237-7475. Okay? All right, thanks. Look forward to talking with you again online. Okay, bye-bye.